Alright, so namaste and welcome back. I hope you have a nourishing lunch as I did as well. And now we're going to see the koshas. So you can take notes on your menu. I also have some type of poster here that I kind of a little bit up, but we're going to be going over this together now. So in Advaita Vedanta, which is one of the lineages from the Vedas that we already saw in the history, it says that the most important knowledge is to understand what is real or what is unreal, and they only consider real the presence of the divine or God. So basically everything is God. God is within me. God made this. This is because of God. The God, that is the ultimate reality. And everything else is an illusion, or like I call it, the matrix, right? And the matrix is really a great analogy because maybe we think that this is real and we're living and this is happening and happening. And maybe we're just plugged into a machine, unconscious, being fed all these stories, but it's like a good analogy. But, so basically, here we have the koshas. So koshas translates to layer. This is also going to go on your reading test, so you will need to know all these koshas. The koshas are layers. They are basically part of who we perceive each other as an identity, and basically what doesn't let us to perceive the ultimate truth or our real identity, we already discussed, that was Sat Chit Ananda, full of understanding, full of love and compassion, and understanding our eternal journey, our eternal personality, is another little word called Maya. So we have Kosha and now we have Maya. Now Maya translates to illusion, and is also the name of a goddess. It says that Maya came to earth and put her veil all over. It's like a veil of a bride, right? And then it's like a veil, and then you can't see exactly what it is because Maya has this veil all over this planet and all over our perception. So it has some analogies that Patanjali give us on the Yoga Sutras to kind of understand this. And one of famous one is about the snake in the garden. So let's say you're coming to have class here like later at 9, and you're coming, and then I'm coming out of the school and I started screaming, snake, snake, has a snake. And then I am jumping, scared, has a snake. You see me jumping, scared, has a snake. And you also start jumping, scared, has a snake, and we all repeat, it has a snake.
It just happened a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah! And then, well, that was a real snake actually. I have it in video. But then I'm like, snake is a snake, and then I contagiate you with my fear. That's a snake, and here comes Felipe, and I was like, snake, sinners, that's odd. Where is the snake? I'm like, it's right there, it's a snake right there. And then I point, and then you come, and it's at night, and so when you come closer to it, what I saw that was a snake, it was simply the rows of the garden just like pile up, like looking like snake, green. And then it's like, no, it's not the snake, it's just the water hose. Come on. And then, okay, thank God for that snake. So this is called Maya. And we do this all the time. Like we perceive certain things in a different reality of what it really is. It's also called some sort of assumptions. Assumptions, you know. Maya, for example, let's say you have a golden lamp, right? And the color of the light is golden, right? But if I put a red shawl or a blue shawl, now the light is coming up like blue. But is that real? No, that's just the way that we are perceiving the color, because when I take the shawl out, the color is golden. So that is Maya. You know, we see things in a way that they don't exist in reality. But not only that, then we react up into a reality that never exists. You know, one of the examples that I use, funny, is like, you know, let's say you are very much in love and you know, this new boyfriend, new girlfriend, and you're so in love and everything is wonderful and it's so great, you know, the first months all bubbles, and then your partner, your girlfriend goes out of town for work, and you know, you guys text each other all the time and very loving and everything's so nice and sweet. And then, okay, so then your boyfriend goes to, I don't know, Orlando, Atlanta, and then, you know, after a couple hours you text and, hey, let me know when you get your final destination, just to know that you're fine, that you're okay, you know, just checking on you. And no text back. And you're like, oh, let's just try it. It's going so well, you know, it's probably busy. Okay, fine. And then another 3-4 hours go by. Hey, you okay? You made it to your hotel? Nothing. And then another couple hours. Now you're being so sweet and so nice and so caring. Now you change the emotion. That you're not so sweet anymore, and you're actually a little upset and kind of angry, you know, so from the love to hate, like, hey, what's the matter? You're not answering me? Did I say anything wrong? You know, why? What is the reason that, you know, I don't want to, you know, bother you. I just want to know you're fine, okay, you know. No response. And then here comes like the night, and now you really, you know, from angry you went to sad, and you start just busting some, you know, I don't know, what are you doing this to me, and I don't understand. If there's anything you want to tell me, just tell me. And then you start calling your girlfriends, like, I don't know, we were so good, and we were talking all the time, you know. It's been like whole day that you're just not texting at all, I don't understand. And then you're just mad, you're like, oh, you're probably with your coworker, and you know, having your after work drinks, and I don't know, just go on and on with your story. You create a story in your head, and you go to sleep crying, and you get up upset, all, you know, lack of sleep, sad. And then the middle of the day, here you got the phone ringing, and that's your loved one, and hi sweetie, how are you? How are you doing? I miss you. How's everything? And you already went through all your different emotions, and you're like, yeah, everything's fine. You know, you had cursed the person like for half an hour, and then they continued to tell you, no, I was driving my way back up to Atlanta, and I stopped at a gas station, and guess what? My phone just fell off inside the toilet, and my phone was dead, and then the company took so long and gave me a new phone. But I'm so happy to hear your voice. How's everything? Thank God that the guy didn't got any of your crazy hysterical messages, right? And you're like, oh, everything's just fine. You know, so a lot of times we tend to do this. We assume certain things or certain behaviors, or we expect people to have the same common sense, right, that you have on your own way of living and they don't. And then you create stories. And that's called Maya. So that's called illusion. So we are, a lot of times we do this, and we do this with like branding. You can do this with any type of relationship or just situations that you kind of react in a way, assuming or thinking something that is not real true. So the best is really like have that moment of detachment, that moment of pause, because before you create your movie, and again, it's not about creating the movie, because if it was just that, okay, but we live a reality that don't exist, right? So another example is like, again, you went out at night, hopefully not too late, I was in bed by midnight yesterday, and I did went to see some music, but let's say it's even later and you get a blackout on your street and you are by yourself and I don't know about you, but I can never find my own keys inside my own purse. So now it's a blackout, it's like 2 a.m. and you're looking for your keys and you look behind you and you see a man. Oh my goodness, that's right. You see a man, he's a tall, big man, and he's moving towards you. And the street is in blackout, and you cannot find your keys, and this guy is coming. He's coming to you. He's coming towards you, and you're now desperate looking for the keys. Where is the keys? And then you find the key, but then you can't put the key in the thing because it's all pitch black and you see nothing. And then you see this guy just moving towards you, and then and what happens? We start living that reality, right? I start having cold sweat. I have palpitations. I start getting a fear. Oh my God, it's going to attack me. And not only you're looking for your keys, you're looking for your peppermint spray, a knife. I don't know what you have in there. And then you're ready to fight. You're like, come, I'm ready for you. And then finally, when you put the key inside the door, the lights go back on the block, and you look, ready to do a karate move. It was a bunch of garbage bags piled up, look like a big guy, and with the wind they were like moving, and you're like, oh my God, wow. So this is again called Maya. So we experience sub-realities that don't really exist, and we act upon them, act upon them. So the best thing to avoid this is always like ask questions. Like instead of having an assumption, it's better to, take care of yourself. Go do your stuff. Do your meditation. Like don't be overthinking. And then let's say, I don't know, let's say I test, actually that's also happened, I test Julia, another Julia, and then I don't know, she didn't answer me back. So now I'm thinking, oh, she's upset with me. She's not happy, what did I say? And then, I say, hey, nothing. I'm like, oh my God, what did I say? Probably say something wrong, I don't know, I offend this girl. And then I go over this, you see? So instead of having that illusory movie in my head, I'm now going to assume something, and I'm going to go, maybe I even call her straight up with a non-message, an email, message, hey, what's up? Send me a message, did you got it? Is everything okay? What's up? I'm so sorry, I'm just busy. Oh, okay, fine. But before that, this is what happened with this she asked me for a phone number, and she's not replying. So instead of making assumptions, you just go straight to wait until you get the moment to really hear the version of the other person. Because as you have a side of story, they probably also have a side of story. And then until you don't clarify that, then you just go over creating movies. And it happens in any type of relationship. It can be a romantic relationship, it can be between, mother and child, father and this, and go on, so on, just friends. and just life, because when we, we have this ego, and the ego is that the judge, is all the time judging. And so again, you see someone like this and that, and you create a label for it, you judge them, and you just put them inside some sort of category, and for example, let's say you see someone like really overweight, like really big, and then immediately you can think, oh, this person doesn't exercise, eats really bad food. I might go there and give some advice, even though they didn't ask me for nothing, or you just, like, I'm gonna help, but man, it's really bad. Maybe it's not that. Maybe they have a endocrine problem, and when you have this balance on your thyroid, you can eat lettuce every day, and you're still big. Maybe this person is fasting and exercising, and you know what I mean? And this can go with so many different examples. So instead us kind of like judge something and not knowing the totality of the integrity of all the aspects of that situation or whatever that object, we shouldn't kind of like come up with those little reactions and stories that we are all the time creating. So what doesn't allow us to see that Atman, or understand the identity of God within us and how is translate on this world, is Maya. Is the illusion to think that you are I, that you actually have this and that, and you're separate of the whole creation. That is the illusion. I am this, I am that. And so let's take a look, because they're all, Kosha and Maya. All of them have Kosha and Maya. Okay? So the first one, the first outside layer, and here in your book you also have a little bit of a circle drawing. You can maybe write it there as well. The first layer is Anam, Maya, Kosha. And that relates to the physical layer. So Anna means food. Anna means food and translates to that physical layer. So what is the most superficial layer that we identify ourselves to be? That is the body. I am this body. I am this body, I have this name, I look like that, I am female or male, I am this body. But that is not true. That is an illusion, and that's really hard to say, no, you're not you. My ID is not real, because I know I am not just a body. I am not just muscles, bones, tendons, and ligaments, and organs, skin, and eye. I'm not just that. I am eternal soul. Yeah, you have also written the name on your book. You have the drawing, you have the name. So the physical layer is Anna, Maya, Kosha. Anna is food, Maya is illusion, and Kosha is the layer. Just turn the page and you will find it. Yeah. We're in the Koshas, and then if you, yeah. And so Anna, Maya, Kosha is that that idea that you identify with the body so much, and you're that. But in Hinduism, in Vedanta, we believe in reincarnation. We are actually not just a body. It has another analogy about that. Like, for example, let's say the body is your vehicle, like a car, right? The car is driven by the soul. The soul is who is driving the body, right? And let's say each couple of years, hopefully, you get a better vehicle, a more modern car, that are newer, in better conditions. So basically, each couple lives, life of their life, you get better vehicle. You change cars, but it's always the soul which is the driving. So you change cars, but you're still driving. Who's driving? The soul. So the body is that. The body is a vehicle for the soul to navigate in this wheel of birth and death, in this reincarnation process, until we start getting some really understanding. Okay, I'm actually not the body. I'm actually transcendental soul. I'm here to pay my karmas. I'm here to practice compassion, to serve my community. Once you don't have those there, the type of understanding, then you will always suffer, and you will always come back to this planet again and again and again. And every time you come here to suffer. Now you're here, you gotta work hard, you gotta pay bills, you're going to get so much disappointment in life, with love and this and that. No, of course it's not just suffering, but it's not, it's hard work. Here it's like you gotta, it's a lot of tasks and obstacles. Let me just erase. So yeah, they say that we have thousands of lives, hundreds of lives.
It's a lot of lives.
A lot of lives. So when you start incorporating this truth, so what does that mean? If you're going to have so many lives, it is even worth it to be crying heartbreak by someone. You know how many husbands and how many relationships you had? Hundreds, and there are more to come. And so we shouldn't be dwelling in this type of or people I know people that treat in Argentina, they treat their car like is a living being. In my car, I got Sunday. Sunday is the day I gotta wax my car, and it's a ritual, and it's like the car has life. And don't touch my car, because the car is part of the family out of the sudden, it's like the traditional, this old Ford they call Pepito, and it's been in the family for 20 years, so it's part of the family. They give it in. And the same happened with, let's say, with a house. You say with a house, you received this house from your parents, let's say, or whatever, and now you are attached to the house, and you gotta pay the fees to maintain the house, and maybe it's more a burden than a blessing, or whatever, So, but we get very much attached to these material things, like they are who we are. Like they give us a personality or an identity. I am this, but I have a Corvette, or I have a Porsche, or I have this house. I have that makes me certain nothing. Actually, it doesn't make nothing. But and so it's very funny how people identify. Instead okay, they want to meet someone, you want to get to know someone, have a conversation, what's your music, what do you like, and then they send you a picture of the big house and the pool. It's like, okay, I have the ocean right there. Send a picture, let's see who wins. So the people identify a lot with assets. Like the more that you have, is like the more important you are. And that is real wrong concept. You know, look what happened with Pobrecito. Steve Jobs, like genius with Apple of the world, the guy died of cancer of so much stress. You know, he has
a pobrecito.
no, but you know, but he didn't even got to enjoy of his creation. And he, in about his book, I think he has a book about it. He says, like, in the end, I realized I spent so many hours developing this, you know, electronic, this software, and then he just forgot about enjoy life, and then he died. That's exactly what happened, you know. So, you know, don't be caught up on that concept of producing and having and acquiring things. I tell everyone, whatever savings you have, and you know, when I was 18, I bought my first piece of land. So if you have any money, you should just buy land. Land with clean water, you know, when you can plant your organic carrots, and you know, maybe even make your own ricotta cheese from your cows that you're going to kiss. I don't know. And the cows are like dogs too, you know. They also play, understand. Anyhow, so that would be a good way. You know, here we gotta be materialist. You know, get yourself a nice piece of pure air. But that's about assets, you know, and you see a lot. Like even people that have minus $100 in the bank, they have expensive car, like to show off. Now, this is also very common. I don't know, in South America, in Brazil, is a wrong cheap, you know, and they are showing the girl, look how awesome is my car, and they are broke. You know?
In a parent's house, in a wooden house, like a wooden tiny house.
Yeah.
A nice car.
And they are suffering to make those payments, you know, to maintain that la fachada, facade, yeah. But then also now we have this obsession with the body. We obsess that, okay, I am this body, right? And here comes the plastic surgery, the fake boobs, the hours and hours beautifying yourself, either on the gym or, you know, and again, I know, I mean, a little bit of is okay, you know, but and again, if you see someone that is 75 and they look like 30, you know, I don't know, but I think you gotta stop the process of aging, you know, and like, also, but not even that. I think I was one time doing like a transfer of, you know, I stopped during the travels, and I think I stopped in Colombia, and all the girls have fake glutes.
Typical Colombian thing.
That was like everything. Yeah, don't look. I'm like, don't look. Is that a pillow? Man, it looked like a pillow. It looked like she had a pillow and it was a fake butt. And it was not one girl, it was all of the girls. So this is like, again, a cultural thing. And I know, like, I think in Venezuela or other countries, like the girl turned 15 years old, and they give them fake chest. I mean, look, if you have 5 kids and your boobs fell off, I get it a little bit, common sense. You want to be nice. That's, you know, lift, okay. But having fake boobs when your boobs are perfect, when you're like 18.
That's still developing, probably.
Yes.
Yes, it's still developing. That's a good point too. You know, like they didn't even grow fully, and you already put it. You know, it's very invasive. It's a piece of plastic.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it can be okay, but sometimes the body can reject. And if the body rejects, and again, not only cancer, tumor, you can have mood swings, be like migraines, all kinds of different things. Okay, please forgive me if you have.
That's why. Maybe that's why I get it.
Too late now.
If I did it with you.
Yeah, too late now. No, but you know, I mean, again, I know I have many. I
I did had a reconstruction.
There you go.
Because after I had 2 kids, like it was like never mind the how to say it, like no, never mind like the
Appearance.
Yeah, the appearance. It was uncomfortable. It was like
Right.
ridiculously uncomfortable. But I remember when I went to the doctor, she said like, okay, do you want to add some more? No. Like, I want to add some more. No. Why not?
I mean, like I said, like I think everything brahmachari, everything moderation, a little touch here and there is fine. I mean, it is fine. But the problem is like, let's say, for example, if you put a lot of those Botox, a lot of injection, I mean, this is very chemical. And some people really look weird looking now. I know, and some of these actors,
Make it worse.
some actors from Hollywood, they completely got the form. Even Madonna looks funny now.
Yeah.
You know?
They all look the
It's
same.
gonna get worse.
They all look the same, that's the
They
thing.
They all have the
You
same.
can tell who's story for
I
you.
mean, I don't know. But so this is a mistaken of identity, right? They mistake that their self is Anamaya Kosha, that who they are is their body. That's why the obsession with the body and adorning the body. You just need to be healthy, and that's good, that's great, you know, that's it with the body. Just be healthy and you're good to go. You know, and we can say that in a yoga class, we can make influence on this layer through asanas. No, every time that we twist, we stretch, we move, we are influenced, or we are penetrating that first layer, the layer of the physical body. How? With asanas. Yeah? So that's how we enter that. And then the second layer is Pranamaya Kosha. So we already saw that on the Ashtanga Yoga. Prana is one of the questions on your test. You can say that prana is not just air. Prana is the vital force of the universe. It's also called Chi in Asia. And Ayama is expansion, so expansion of your vital force. And then Kosha, well, the Kosha is the layer. So this is a now we entering, so this is the subtle body. So we have like a, we have like a physical body, we have an astral body, which is subtle, like we can't really touch. And then we have what we call the cardinal body, that will be the soul. But so this layer, the Pranamaya Kosha, is part of the astral body, which is like you can see the prana and you can grasp the prana. This energy layer is there. I can say that I feel it like maybe like sometimes just like an inch outside the skin. You can feel a little bit of that vibration and you can try now actually, like stand up and stay upright, and then you're going to kind of like do like this with your hands. You're going to close your eyes, because with your eyes closed you can feel much more. And you can inhale and separate the hands a little apart of each other. And as you exhale, bring the palms together, but not touching, like you're having like a tennis ball between your palms. So you can also keep your fingers together, okay? And keep your palm like a little bit of a conch shape. It's a little easier to feel. So you can inhale, extend. And then exhale, you squeeze that invisible ball of energy. Inhale slowly. And exhale, you should feel something in the middle of your palm. And you can also change directions. One hand up, one hand down. Inhale, you enlarge. And exhale, feel that energy between your hands. And you can do a few more times. You can change the hands like you're just holding like a ball. middle of your hands is energy layer. And when you're done, you can bring the hands into your womb, into your belly, and do some circles. And let the energy be absorbed by your organs.
Qigong, they do it.
Yeah,
And then they like,
yeah, it's chi. Do you feel it a little bit?
I felt it.
I feel like warm.
I feel like
Warm, yeah, well that's energy, you know, that's energy. Usually when we do some healing, usually, oh my god, like we feel the temperature of the person, yeah? But, so Pranamaya Kosha is the energy layer, right? And you can see that sometimes you're like full of energy, and sometimes it's just, it's almost like no vitality, right? So of course that, you know, good nourishment, good food will be important, good rest will be important, otherwise you will crash. What other ways to get energy? I know.
practice.
Yeah. Being outdoors. Yeah, just like maybe observing some sunbathing, just some solar energy, and just being outdoors. Even like sometimes you come to the park and you just rest your back, and again, it's a tree. It's going to give you energy, energy, vital force. So yeah, that's a few ways that we can stimulate that layer, but also that is also fluctuates. Like I said, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, up and down. So that is not like a stable thing, like it changes. So because it changes, we can say that is real because it changes with the day, the time, with the season, with your mood. So that's why also the Pranamaya Kosha is also another layer that we consider not who you really are, because inside there has those mood swings, right? Full of energy, passionate. And then the other day you're like, I want to stay on the couch for 10 hours. Those change of behavior, like that's why, again, what helps a lot is doing this correct redirection of your habits, understanding, resting and diet properly, but also doing the practice, even though sometimes I feel really tired, I force myself, literally. It's almost like I am my own guru, my own teacher, and I push myself. And I do something, like some restorative yoga, something to be able to bring my energy back. But one of the real ways to penetrate this layer is pranayama, right? It's breathing exercises. So today we did, some of you guys did, because everyone is in their moon, which is also common, by the way. Yeah, the women, they get in the moon cycle by smell. It's something so incredible. Yeah, let's say somehow by odor, you can feel each other's odor, like almost like some animal thing, and then everyone gets their period at the same time.
I feel like it's kind of sense, but to me, I believe it is just like, I don't know why we would do that, because I don't know about a bunch of women PMSing at the same time. It's like very good for the community, personally.
I did hear something that back in the day women used to gather, and because they spent time together in the moon cycles and they were over the moon, and they like connect so they can in the community raise their children together. Basically.
Right.
So they're all at the same time.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than what I was coming from.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're supposed to have it with your moon. If you're really in balance, you're supposed to have your moon cycle with the moon changes, to be very much on a schedule. Yeah. is the breathing exercise. So we did Kapalabhati today. I know that some of you guys didn't do because of your moon cycle. But Kapalabhati, that fire breathing, you already know Ujjayi breath. We did alternate nostrils, Nadi Sodhana the other day, and we're going to do more and more. But the pranayama, the breathing exercise, you can literally get so much energy, so much vitality from it, so much like also peace, you know, get yourself nice and focused. And that's how we're going to penetrate that layer in a yoga class. You know, you're supposed to influence all these different layers in one single class. You know, that's why if you go to a class that is too corporate kind of thing, and they do a lot of like power yoga, very vigorous, and very much like a lot of exercise, a lot of asanas, and very little pranayama, and almost no mantras, no meditation. So there is just physical. So it's a superficial yoga class because they never penetrate deeper these other bodies, these other layers within ourselves. So, and has such a thing that, you know, sometimes you go with someone's energy and sometimes you just don't go with someone's energy. So it has such a thing as well. So if you feel like full of vitality, eating the correct foods, you most likely will have a bigger kind of expansion of energy, and it's also like some sort of protection for yourself as well. Like, you know, like your energy field is not just expansive, but it's solid. So when people send you literally bad vibes, jealousy, or, you know, some type of, you know, envy, which, because this is real, like, nothing is real, then you have your prana feel nice and strong, they can't, you know, it doesn't penetrate. If you have low vitality, low energy, if you literally feel weak, then people not only can influence you, they can hurt you easily, you can get sick easily, and all that. So the pranamaya kosha, or starting to get more comfortable with breathing exercise. You can't do like 2 kapalabhats and get tired. You know, you really need to step up your capacity of doing breath work, because it's more advanced than body postures, right? So you need to get comfortable, your lungs need to get comfortable, like, you know, like stretching the capacity of breathing. And then after that, we have Mana Maya Kosha, and that is the mind. That's also part of your astral body, right? You can grab the mind with your hands, or you can grab your brain, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about this manas. The manas is a layer of the mind that you can say is your manager. Okay, the mind, the manas is the manager layer of the mind that has a certain intelligence to organize things, you know, like, you know, you need to wake up a certain time to come here, you know you need to pay your cell phone bill, you know that you have a dentist appointment this day, and, you know, is the manas that is going to help us not to be all over the place, and is going to give us some direction, some organization. Otherwise, yeah, you know, otherwise your life will be upside down, you know. And I also know a lot of people like that. You know, they're super good teachers and they're actually very spiritual. But then I'm like, so what's up with you? And, you know, they cannot make their phone bill. Like they don't even have money to pay for the phone, and they're always like couch surfing, you know, sleep with some friends sometime and sleep with another friend sometime. So the mana maya kosha, that layer of the mind that is going to help this person to be organized in life, And you need to have, because otherwise you cannot be functional, like, okay, I'm going to do yoga meditation at this time, I don't know, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and then I'm going to do some work, and then I'm going to take care of my family, and then I'm going to have some free time for myself. And you gotta have some organization there, otherwise either you're not going to practice or you overwork serving others and forget about yourself. So you see what I'm saying? So you need to have that manager telling you. And also according to your food and according to Ayurveda, you can have a Rajasic mind that is like high speed and very egoistic in a way, competitive, agitated, or you can have a Sattvic mind perhaps that is telling you like a good friend, hey, don't forget to practice, I will do it now, it's like 9 p.m., it's fine, just do it. And again, maybe it's a very short practice, but it's there, So you need to have a purified mind to help you to take the good decisions, Otherwise, and this is related with the gunas that we're going to study soon, and you can start reading this on your manual as well. Gunas are the qualities for all this material world that comes from the female expression of God, and is tamas, rajas, and sattva. So sattva is the mood of goodness and positive, saintly goodness, and then rajas is a pendle in between the two of them, and is all that passion, the activation, the movement, and go. And then the other one is tamas. If you have a tamasic mind, forget about it. You're not going to exercise. You're just going to watch TV for hours. I mean, we all have family members like this, right? They don't have like, is this sausage good for me? Is this whiskey good for me? That question doesn't exist in that type of mind. They just have it. So, and very sedentary, So again, we want to purify the mind. And the best way actually to purify the mind is mantras. You have another question on your test that I will ask you, what is mantras? What do mantras mean? So you can write. So you see that the root word in Sanskrit for mind is mana. Okay, so mana means mind. So mantra, ma is mind, and tra is liberation. So mantra translates to liberate your mind. So if you have a crazy mind, the mind that creates stories, that you have monologues with, like you have a person inside yourself, like the movie Black and Man, that has a little alien, driving the guy. You have that inside you, someone is driving you and giving you commands. You need to sit down and do some mantras, Sadnam, Soham, Om Namah Shivaya, Hare Krishna, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, the Gayatri mantra. Mantra will purify the mind, and you will help the mind to be more sattvic. It will help the mind to be at your favor, like helping you in your dharma and helping you to make good decisions, Otherwise, if you have like the Rajasic mind, there too much movement, too much stimulation, then you might suffer a little, I think it happens with all of us, between the driving, the TV, the iPad, the iPhone, the iWatch, and then here comes the coffee and the alcohol, and then you have 3 jobs. Forget it, the mind is like, where to go? Where to go? So I feel a lot like that. That's why for me, like, I really need to sometimes like just being in nature. I will probably do that tomorrow, that side on the bicycle. I will go to the park to practice on the grass and stuff like that. But it's important that your mind has a t-shirt that says like this: Your ego is not your amigo. You know, like the mind should be your best friend. The mind cannot be against you. And here you have like one little drop. I'm going to go and do my sadhana. I'm going to take the mat and go to the beach and do my exercise. And then the mind is almost like, no, don't go. You got a language to do. And you forgot to send that email. What about this? Did you call your mom? I'm like, you know, it just kind of like takes you off your path. So the idea is to, again, to allow the mind to work on your advantage and not allowing the mind to be your enemy. And that requires just some sort of training, you know, as well. So again, Mana Maya Kosha. Remembering that you are neither the mind. You are not just the mind or the body or just your emotions that change up and down. You feel happy, you feel sad according to your energy. You are none of that, because who you are is eternal soul. That's why those are illusions. We think that we are that. We think, okay, I think, therefore I exist. And how's like a philosopher, Socrates, I think he says that. You know, if I think I exist, I feel like if you meditate, you exist. You know, it's more like think less and feel more kind of thing. You know, because we're all the time thinking so much. And then after that, here comes another layer of the mind. That is called Vijnana Maya Kosha. And Vijnana Maya Kosha relates to the wisdom layer or the deep knowing. So when you acquire some knowledge, let's say for example, you learn how to ride bicycles. No matter how many years go by, if you don't go up into a bicycle in 5 years, you can just grab the bicycle and go. Because now it's part of your Vijnana Maya Kosha, your wisdom, your layer. Like if I go to Brazil and I walk on the forest, I know that this herb is for asthma, that this herb is for inflammation, that this is for menstrual cramps. I know the herbs. Maybe I don't know their scientific name, but I know them because I have experience with them, because I learned with them, and now they are part of my deep knowing, my inner wisdom, right? And so this is that part of the mind, you know, is more like it helps to discriminate certain things, you know, what is right or what is wrong as much as possible. Like we know that kill is a sin. It doesn't have another way around it, right? We know that we should pray and we should have some sort of spiritual practice, no matter if you come up with your own words, right? That we should work our soul body. So we have some wisdom, we have some understanding, and we know that, you know, we just know. And it's like saying like the answers are within you, right? Like it's true. It really is, you know, when we stay quiet, we can get all that kind of guidance, right? But when we are being pulled by the illusions, I am the body, I am my passion, I am my sadness, my mind is telling me to do this and this, so I will do it, and there's no filter, there's no nirodha, then again, it's just like a wild horse all over the place. So Vijnana Maya Kosha is that more intelligence side of the mind that is orienting you in a good way. Hopefully, that was your dharma, right? Vijnana Maya Kosha will say, you know, you've been a bartender for 10 years, you know, you don't want to be in this environment. Why don't you take this job to be a hostess on a spa facility instead, you know. And then here comes the man who say, well, you make double money as a bartender. And then the wisdom will say, but don't you want to change in your life, you know? You see, like you get like all this. So we want to have this wisdom to be our guide, because the ego is always going to kind of mess up things for us. So when we are not connected, because then you're penetrating more and more, right? So again, remember, you gotta penetrate all this in one class. So of course, if you're talking about the Manamaya Kosha, it's always with some type of mantra. And I've been giving you some mantras, I will give you much more mantras, but you can do, you know, Shanti Om, and if you feel like, let's say you go and very small town, everyone is Christian, you know, and you're going to like, oh, I will be like, what? You know, and like, you're back to demon, you know. So you better not even go into Hinduism, because that's exactly what they're going to think, you know, because now you're stepping into the religion world. So you can just use mantras in English, like very easy. I am healed, I am cured, you know. I am love, I am healing. Who cannot agree with that? You know? So you can, that way, because mantra is going to, it's a kind of positive, sacred sound, you know, that has, so it can be anything. You want to lower the AC? It's in the other room.
Is anybody else hot?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah? So yeah, so this is the layer of the mind that hopefully is taking you to some sort of more deep understanding of things, wisdom, sabiduría, you know, like a more wise layer. You know, so how we're going to penetrate the yoga class with them, you know, with the students. Sometimes I use analogies, you know, like you guys are doing triangle pose, and I say, well, triangle, you know, triangle is sacred geometry, you know, the triangles are super powerful anywhere in the world, in all civilizations. And then you can say it represents, you know, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, represents the Creator, the Preserver, the Destroyer. Give them some wisdom, you know. Today when you guys were in Shavasana, you weren't here. I read the Bhagavad Gita. You know, I read the Bhagavad Gita. Look, it's all marketing. You know, I say karma, bhakti yoga, you know, like that. So the students are in Shavasana, and you can read some wisdom for them. Feed them some more profound knowledge. It doesn't need to be all superficial, biceps, triceps, glutes, and quads. We're not just that. You know, feed me something. You know, you can talk about the Ashtanga Yoga during the class. Every time they're holding downward dog, you say one limb. You know, you can give a meaning of a mantra. You can wisdom. I am doing a twist. What is the benefit of that? What is the benefit of twisting? It improves digestion. It increases your inner fire. Push away your fears, your phobias. You know, a lot of people have fear. The other day was so funny. I was like doing errands, and I have a helper here, and I said, okay, I'm going to Office Depot. I didn't do my sadhana today, like 4 p.m. So I'm going to do my office purchases in bicycle, and then when I came back, I go and I do my sadhana on the beach. And she was like, well, be very careful. And I didn't even reply, and I was like, why? I'm very careful with the bicycle, you know? But it has this mentality that be careful, you can get hurt. So, yeah, so trying to feed people something that will increase their wisdom and give them that benefit. So every time that you move your navel, It's going to increase your agni, your inner fire that actually gives you courage, gives you power, ambition, endurance. And after COVID, everyone was like, wow. Most of people have PTSD from the COVID in itself. From trauma to be isolated. Some people had sick family members that they couldn't even say hello or goodbye. It's like crazy. And of course, that was absolutely, not necessary to go down that way. I know, dress a condom and go say goodbye to your aunt or something. You know what I mean? But that's what happened. And actually, people also have, imagine if you in that situation, it's just not good. So when we are giving our students wisdom, we can help them to understand some of these concepts about, you are not your lower emotions. Here is God giving you some instruction about how to become a better human being. Let me read it for you. You are not your body, and death is not real. It's just a door. You're going to encounter everyone that you love. Maybe they show up and they take over your body in the middle of the healing session, or maybe they show up in your dreams. I don't know. So explaining these concepts of reincarnation, so we can be more, more wise about the topic. And that's another thing about, the Western, because when you go to India, everyone's dead on the sidewalk. Yeah. It's like cultural shock really quick. Because death and life is just another day, in the garden. You know what I mean? It's just another part of life. Part of life, death is part of life, life's part of life, all together. And you see people, they burn their bodies, and you smell their bodies burning, and then they threw it on the Ganges, like a ritual. And then we go and we bathe on the Ganges with the dead bodies. Of course, I didn't drink the water, my friend did. And I'm like, don't do it! We're totally together, It's like, but it's the Ganges, and it's like the holy water. But you just saw 3 bodies just floating down, dude. Like, there's no need to go so deep on the rituals, okay? And he did drink, and he did got sick, clearly, so, but it's something that it's a different perception of reality, we're just like, we just need to get, more wisdom, understanding these Asian topics, so you can hold the space for yourself and for your family and for your kids and everyone around you, more proper warrior, teacher, leader of your community better. So give wisdom to your students in your yoga class. When I was reading the Bhagavad Gita today, it's a win-win. I'm also getting it. You also getting it. We're both getting it. Yay! So you can bring any book, Eckhart Tolle if you like. I mean, here it is so many, I can go on and on. But that's a little bit the idea, right? Wisdom. And then we have Anandamaya Kosha. So Anandamaya Kosha, Ananda means bliss or happiness, like Satchitananda, remember? And it's basically pure happiness, pure joy. And that is that layer that has your Atman, that soul of God inside yourself. So if you have a very good yoga class with a very good relaxation, shavasana, and then you come out of it, meditation, sometimes they say, oh, I have the yoga high, yoga bliss. And you're like, literally, get off the class and you're super happy, you feel super recharged, connected, like you feel plugged with your ancestors, with your angels. It's just a great feeling. So that means that you achieve Anandamaya Kosha. Now, this is called, the casual body, which is, again, that is the layer that is as close as the soul of God. So when you are in that state, I love all, life is good, I love myself, I'm grateful for everything, you know, I'm happy, I'm content. Those are basically the qualities of God. They're kind of like emerging through you, right? Because God is not influenced by anything, not by the gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, not by external events, not by emotions, ups and downs. God is always Satchitananda, always eternal, always compassionate, always pouring unconditional love, and always full of wisdom, full of knowledge. And that's who we are. We just don't know it because we have all these layers covering. So when we get into Anandamaya Kosha, you feel like $1,000,000. You feel great. Life is great. You're just like, I'm fulfilled, I'm happy, I'm good. Well, that means that you're very close to God. So after that is basically God realization. Like you are knocking God's door right on your heart there. You know, so that, the next one is Atman. Oh, sorry, but in the yoga class, how you can activate this Anandamaya Kosha, I call this coaching, you know? Like let's say I'm in Warrior 1, right? And then I can say something like, you know, you are perfect as you are, wake up the warrior on you, you know? Start coaching. So I came down and I had I felt really lonely yesterday and tired, and then I come to the yoga class and my teacher started telling me things like that. You are perfect, you are unique. The sun, the light of the sun is shining in your heart. Allow yourself to move the clouds of the mind and let the light shine through, you know. You are beautiful, you are loved, you are strong. And out of the sudden I sound like, Dad, yes I am. Yes, Dad, you're right. I'm beautiful, I'm strong. So you start getting that feeling of ananda, of happiness. I am actually loved, and I'm actually, smart, I'm actually strong, and you start getting that energy back. So you can incentivize that Anandamaya Kosha, just coaching your students to remember who they really are, you know? And I don't know, so many examples. Now you're in 3 poles and you're like, you're connected with Mother Earth, you're connected with the Father Sky, you are a channel, a vessel of light, and that's who you really are. And you start manning up like, that's right, I'm a channel of light. You need someone to uplift your spirit and like remember you to say those things to you. And that's when you enter the Atman, you know. The Atman is your higher self, is that God within you, is the light of lights, is the divine, and
works. I'm just gonna throw it away, because this is the one that I took from the.
So basically that's the only thing that is real. Everything is unreal. So we are not the body, we're not I am happy, I'm sad movements of my energy layer, right? I am definitely not my intellectual mind that tells me to pay my bills or get a new car or get new dresses. I am, I'm not even that deep knowing, even though is a more high intelligence that you have. It's just also a layer of the mind. And Anandamaya Kosha is a little bit more of who I really am. You're supposed to be full of happiness and full of bliss, which is the consistent of the self or Atman, and that is the ultimate reality. In Advaita Vedanta, even in Samkhya, even in in Tantra, Himalayan, they're all trying to get there. They're all trying to get to that part where you will realize, actually, I see God in everything. I see God in the butterfly, I see God in the ant, I see God in each one of my friends, I see God even in my pet or in the things that I have. I understand that that was given to me by God's mercy in a way. I'm here to fulfill some God's mission, and that is the reality. And then when you don't see that, is because you are covered by the Koshas, by some layer, some incorrect belief system, some illusion story that you're telling. Sometimes, it can come from your own family, like your own family tells you, unconsciously, because everyone is doing the best that they can from their perspective, but here comes someone and tells you, all men are bad, or all men is good for nothing, or this and that, and then you're a child, you might get that type of incorrect software down your soul, and that's all an illusion. So this is a little bit easy to go over it, but not so easy to put it in practice. But if you start understanding a little bit more of the Koshas and the layers, then you also can, okay, do I need to spend well, I think I don't know who I was talking about this, we don't need to over-exercise. If you do yoga one day and you do maybe gym on the other day, that is just plain. You don't need to do both, because then you're over-exercising, and of course you're going to have a result, unless you want to go to some sort of context when you're going to show your muscles and your attributes, like the bodybuilder or something, right? But if it's not the case, we don't need to overdo anything and get preoccupied with so many things that are actually not real, So that gives a different perspective on how we direct our life and what is really worth our time to get more preoccupied. If we understand that we are eternal souls, that I'm not just female or male, that I'm going to have many lives like that. So I'm going to try to do everything in this life to minimize my past karmas, to not harm, so I can go higher on my soul evolution, and maybe next life I'm already born in a temple meditating all day long, and I can have an enlightenment quickly, right? And go up, and eventually when you do become very an enlightened saint, let's say, or awakened soul, you don't reincarnate anymore, then it has other planets that we can go. Other different planets. Has many planets, has millions of galaxies with millions of planets. So we don't have just planet Earth. We have many of them, and we can go to some planet that has a higher consciousness, So, okay, that's about the Koshas. If you want to have a bathroom break, maybe if you feel like you're going to sleep and you gotta do a 3 pose. And then I want to revise